What a glorious day.
Welcome to Southend. I hope you feel the love in the room. There's a little drink for you.
Look at this.
We've got Mary Berry in the calf. Come on. National treasure, and I think fair to say that we all love her, yeah?
Yes,
Very much so. And in recent years, it's the Great British Bake Off that have introduced you to a whole new audience. But you've had the most incredible career. I've just celebrated 20 years and thought I did well, but you've been doing this a lot longer, haven't you?
I suppose it must be 50 years.
And how many cookbooks have you written in that time?
About 80, and my family all taste the recipes, and I've got a son who often says, "Oh, you can't do that," you know.
50 years?
Yeah.
I've got to work harder, Jim.
You have.
You're still very young.
So, what were those early years like? Did they do home economics when you were at school?
Do you know, I was so lucky because there was the most wonderful lady called Miss Date, and she said sometimes, "That's really well done," and no other teacher had ever said well done. It was always, you know, detention or whatever.
Yeah.
And after high school, I then went to the Domestic Science College.
Yep.
Then I was allowed to go to London.
Right. And what was life like in London? Where did you live?
Well, we lived with several girls. We were the top flat, the girls.
Right.
And then there were boys, the flat below, because in those
amazing.
days you didn't share, or at least you didn't tell your mother.
Yeah.
And we had a very happy time.
Yeah.
One of your early jobs was demonstrating how to cook in an electric oven.
That's
and I
right.
think people take for granted the electric oven because actually it's only a recent piece of history. I mean, how was that for you, sort of working
I
with
worked
the
for
public?
the electricity board as a home service advisor. When people bought a cooker, they were offered someone like me to go to their house and show them how to use it.
Wow. Imagine that today. If you bought an oven, Mary Berry is going to pop round and show you how it works.
Tell me about your latest cooking show that you're doing.
It's called Best Home Cook. My aim is that when the viewer is looking, they think, I want to make that tomorrow. I love teaching, and television is the biggest class you'll get anywhere.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's true.
For me, when I started The Naked Chef, it was about getting the boys back in the kitchen.
Absolutely.
I mean, our school didn't even have the offer of learning to cook at all.
But in those days, men did not help in the kitchen.
No.
And my husband's still one of them.
You haven't rubbed off on him? He hasn't learned anything from you? Or...
No.
Really? I mean, he must make something.
By any chance I wasn't well, he would make me an omelette, but I'd get better very quickly because that's all he can do.
Really?
How long have you guys been together?
53 years.
Amazing.
Wow.
Come
That's
on.
amazing. And where did he propose?
Well, he started to propose often. And I always used to say, "You're drunk." And he said, well, because he said he was so nervous. And
Yeah.
eventually he went to Hyde Park.
Okay.
And I said yes.
So,
Brilliant.
An old romantic then.
Work ethic is incredible. I mean, 80 cookbooks, loads and loads of shows. Where does that work ethic come from?
Well, my work is my passion. I did all sorts of jobs to further my knowledge. I worked in a butcher's, I worked in a fishmonger's. I know when the children were little, all three of them, I left in bed in Salcombe because we had a very, very good bakery. I persuaded them to let me bake with them overnight. Then I stayed to see the first customers take the warm bread out.
Amazing.
Amazing.
That's wonderful.